Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Hope you are doing good. Before entering into today's video, make sure if you are serious about learning English, please hit the like button. That motivates us to give you more videos. Okay, let's get into the video. What is a verb? A word describes an action, an event, or a state of being. Verb is the most important part of a speech. Without a verb, a sentence would not exist. Do you agree that? Let us know in the comment section. Let's see some examples here. The lion killed a sheep. Here, killed is an action. We got independence at midnight. The verb got denotes an event. She is a doctor. This is an example for the state of being. Next comes the functions of verbs. A verb shows the action of the subject. It tells what the subject of a sentence does. You know what? A verb works as helping verbs with main verbs. As well as a verb links the subject to the noun or adjective and the predicate. Let's see the types of verb. Main verb or action verb. Auxiliary verb or it is helping verb. The main verb or an action word could be either a transitive verb or an intransitive verb. As well, the auxiliary verbs or helping verbs could be either primary verbs or modal verbs. Furthermore, the transitive verbs could be regular or irregular in form. These are the types of verbs that we have. Now let's see the detailed explanation about action verbs. Action verbs could denote the physical state or mental state. Look at the explanation given below. You will understand what is that physical verb. A verb that tells about an action that can be seen is physical. For example, actions like eating, writing, walking, and etc. are physical, which means that we can see, right? Next, let us see what is meant by the mental state of action. Yes, a verb that tells about an action that cannot be seen denotes the mental state of being. Look at the examples listed below. You will understand what is the nature of the mental state of being. For example, think, forget, feel, and etc. are the verbs that cannot be seen through eyes. Alright. Yes. Now let's see the functions of main verb or action verb. Action verbs tell what a person or an animal does. Look at these that would tell what a person is doing. For example, Mary prepares dinner. I eat an apple. Here, the verbs like prepares and eat tell what a person is doing. As well, an action verb can stand alone. And also, it can be used with a helping verb. Look at this example. Clean the room. Peter is playing. Here, in the first example, the verb clean stands alone. Whereas in the second sentence, the verb playing is used with a helping verb is. Fine. Let's move to transitive verb. First, let's see what is meant by transitive verb. A transitive verb does not make sense on its own. It always takes an object. Look at these examples, guys. You will understand what is meant by a transitive verb. Yes, see the example. The shelf holds the book. Here, in this sentence, the verb holds is the transitive verb and the book comes as an object here. See, as per the rule, the verb holds take an object, book. The next sentence is who killed the snake? Here, the verb killed is a transitive verb and snake comes as an object. As well, the verb killed takes an object, snake. A transitive verb can sometimes take two objects, direct object and indirect object. For example, Mary lent her books to her friends. Here, her books comes as direct object and her friends come as indirect object. Now let us move to intransitive verb. An intransitive verb indicates complete action by itself in a sentence. As well, it does not take an object. Adverbs and prepositions usually follow intransitive verbs. Here you have the examples for better understanding. My brother cries loudly. Here the verb cries comes as intransitive verb, where the word loudly comes as an adverb, since the verb cries do not take an object. And the adverb loudly is followed by the verb cries. So the verb cries used in the sentence are said to be intransitive verbs. Okay? Look at the second example. The dog barks. The verb barks is an intransitive verb. The verb barks do not take an object. Hope these examples would be helpful for your better understanding. Okay, then let's see the difference between transitive and intransitive verbs using these examples. Some verbs can be used in both transitive and intransitive forms. For example, John plays volleyball. The verb plays is a transitive verb and the word volleyball is the object here, right? Here the verb takes an object, right? So it is said to be the transitive verb. The next example is for intransitive verb. Look at these example. Mary plays very well. Here, the verb plays is an intransitive verb because the verb does not take an object in that sentence, right? And it is followed by an adverb, will. Hence, the verb plays used in that sentence states as an intransitive verb. Next, let us see the regular verbs. Verbs that form their past and past participle with the or ed are said to be regular verbs. In other words, it follows a regular pattern when changing forms between tenses. Let us see some examples here. Base form of verb or present form of verb. Ask, ask, and its simple past, asked. Here we have added ed along with the spelling ask. Its past participle is also asked, asked. Here we have added ed, right? And next one is cook, cooked, cooked. Again here we have added ed for both past tense and past participle. Here we have the regular pattern, right? And next one is dance, and its simple past tense, danced. Here we have added only d. Again its past participle, danced. We have added d here, right? And the last one is change. Its simple past tense is changed. We have added d. And past participle, again it's changed. We have added d with the spelling chang for simple past and past participle, right? Here you can see the base form of verbs, their past form and past participle with d and ed. Moreover, as it is said, the regular form of verbs follow a regular pattern when changing its forms between tenses. Okay, now let's see what is the irregular verb. Irregular verbs do not follow a rule. Verbs with a past tense that is not formed by adding the usual ed suffix. Okay? The irregular verbs are also known as strong verbs. Now, you can see the list of irregular verbs. Here you have the list of strong verbs. Become, became, become. Choose, chose, and chosen. Do, did, done. Eat, ate, eaten. Fall, fell, fallen. See, here the verbs do not follow the regular pattern when changing their forms. They serve as the strong verbs. Hope these examples will help you to understand what is regular and irregular verbs. Fine. Let's see the auxiliary verb or helping verb. Yeah, an auxiliary verb is also called a helping verb. It will be used with main verb to help express the main verb, tense, mood or voice. Okay, then let's see how the auxiliary verb helps to express the main verbs, tense, mood, or voice. Okay? Let's see how the auxiliary verb helps to express tense. Yeah. Look at the first sentence. She is eating an apple. This sentence shows the right tense, which denotes the present continuous, which means the action continues. Look at the next example. She has eaten an apple. Here, the tense used here is present perfect. Next, let's move to the mood. Did you take my book? Here in this sentence, we can get the interrogative or question mode. Someone is raising a question, right? And next one is, do share this video. This sentence starts with the verb and comments an action. It shows the imperative mode, right? Let's see the final one, voice. Yes, an apple is eaten by her. This shows the passive voice. Now let's move on with the primary auxiliary verb. We have three forms of auxiliary verbs. They are be form, have form, and the last one is do form. First, let's start with the to be form. The be form of verbs are am, is, are, was, and were. Here, the first three forms denote the present tense, in which am and is are singular, or is plural, whereas the last two are past tense of be form of verb, was. It is to be used only for singular, where is for plural. Here you have the usages where to use the be form of verb and to which subject we have to use these auxiliary verbs. Hope this would be useful to you. Yeah. Now let's see a few examples for your better understanding. First one. The first auxiliary verb is am. Let's see its usage. I'm a teacher. It denotes the present tense. I was tired. Peter was afraid. Mary was afraid. These sentences denote the past tense. Next, let's see the usage of is. Shivan is happy. Mary is a teacher. It is a dog. The next auxiliary verb is are. Look at these examples, guys. You are late. We are dancers. My friends are doctors. The last primary auxiliary verb is were. Look at these examples. You will understand its usage. You were tired. We were afraid. They were quarrelsome. If you like our videos, please hit the like button. As well, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, guys. Next, let's see the have form of verb. Has, have, and had are the have form of the verb. Here, has and have can be used for present tense, and has is only used for singular subjects. Have is to be used for plural subjects. The last one, had, is to be used for past tense, and it can be used with all subjects. The following are examples of the have form of verb. Have a look at how these verbs are used. I have a pen. We have a bag. Mary has a beautiful doll. Look at the examples used with the past form of have form of verbs. Had. I had a pen. We had a bag. Mary had a beautiful doll. Finally, it's to do form of verb. The do form of verbs are do, does, and did. Do and does are to be used with present tense. Did is to be used with the past tense. Here, you can see the rules and usage of the do form of the verb. The rule is presented clearly for your better understanding. Look at the rules. You can see examples here using the rules. Do plus clean is equal to clean. V1 verb. Does plus clean is equal to cleans. You have added is. Did plus clean is equal to cleaned. It's for past tense, right? See the examples for both present tense and past tense of the verb. I do my works. Johnny cleans the bag. Mary cooks the meals. And on the other side, it's past tense. I did my works. We cleaned the bag. Mary cooked the meals. I hope you find these examples helpful. Fine. Let's see the modal auxiliary verbs. The following is a list of modal auxiliary verbs: can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, and the last one is must. Modals are helping verbs. Modals can be used with main verb to help expressing meanings such as ability, possibility, permission, and the last one is obligation. Modal verbs are used before the main verb. See for an example, she can dance. Here she is the subject. Can is the modal auxiliary verb and dance is the main verb. Now let's see the uses of modal verbs. See, if you like to express your ability, you can use the modal auxiliary verb can and could. If it is advice, you have to use should. Obligation, must. If it's for offer, you can use would and could. For permission, you can use can, could, and may. For possibility, you can use may and might. For request, you can use would and could. Let's take a look at each modal verb. First, it's can. The modal verb can is to be used for ability, permission, and request. You can also check out these examples. I can lift this bag. Here, can is used for ability. Can I make use of your calculator? And next one is could. Could is to be used to show ability in the past. And for formal request, you can use could. And for possibility, even you can use could. These examples will help you understand. I could drive the car when I was young. Could I take this book? She could have taken the matter easily. Let's move on to the modal auxiliary shall and its uses. Shall could be used with futurity, willingness, intention, suggestion, and insistence. I shall come tomorrow. I shall attend the class. I shall send an invitation to you. You shall talk to her now. You shall attend my marriage. The next auxiliary verb is should. You can use should for obligation, necessity, expectation, and advisability. Look at these examples, you will understand where can we use the modal auxiliary should. Should I leave you? I should be done now. You should have come now. You should better go tomorrow. I hope these examples can be helpful to you. The next modal verb is will. Will could be used to denote willingness, intention, and predication. Here are some examples. I will come with you. He will visit there. Anything will happen. You will come with me. The next auxiliary verb is would. We can use the auxiliary verb would for expressing willingness, habitual action in past, probability, wish, and desire. Here are some examples to illustrate what I mean. Look at these, you will understand. Okay? I would attend the party. He would take long walks in his youth. He would be expected at 5 p.m. I would like to become a teacher. I would like to have a cup of coffee. Next, we have the auxiliary verb is may. This auxiliary verb can be used to ask, permission, possibility, and wish. Take a look at these examples. May I come in? It may rain. I may come to Delhi. Let's look at the next auxiliary verb, might, and its usages. You can use might for asking permission, possibility, and probability. Look at these examples. Might I use your mobile? It might rain now. He might get the ticket. Last but not least, let's look at the auxiliary verb must. You can use must for compulsion, obligation, deduction, and the last one is certainty. Okay? And look at these examples, you will understand what I mean. You must attend the class. Must I come with you? He must leave now. You must arrive by 5 pm. Thanks for watching our video. Like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to get the latest updates from our channel. Cheers guys. Stay tuned for the next video.